Alright, then welcome back everyone. Let's solve this question, comparison string. Frankly, this question, if you solve the last question, this question, you should be able to solve it in 5 minutes, but you have to complete the playlist, right? So let's see what this question trying to say. So I hope you read the question once. So you are given a string s of length n, where each character is either less than or greater than. Basically, this string you can say, and then you can say a string is compatible with an array A if by comparing the elements, by comparing the array elements, you are getting this string. So basically, how can you say a string is compatible with this array? Basically, by comparing the adjacent elements of the array, you are getting that same string. So I guess they have just given an example here. So the string which is compatible for this guy would be what? See, they are given it, right? Less than, greater than. Why? Because 13 is less than 37, so less than. Then 37 is less than 42, so less than. Then 42 is greater than 37, so greater than. Then 37 is greater than 13, so greater than. So basically, a string is told to be compatible with an array if by comparing every element, if by comparing the elements of the array, you can get the string, right? So fine. So they have just given an explanation here. I guess if you read the question, this should not be much of a big deal. So if si is less than if and only if a is less than a plus 1, si is greater than if and only if a is greater than a plus 1. Of course, if a string has to be compatible with an array, if the string is of size n, the array has to be of size n plus 1, right? If you have an n length string, then the compatible array will be of size n plus 1, right? Because you need two adjacent elements to compare every time. That's fine. So what they are expecting is in input you are just given the string s, and for each test case, print one integer, the minimum cost among all the arrays which are compatible with given string is. Okay, so what is cost? Cost they have defined for an array is a number of distinct elements. Okay, the number of distinct elements in an array is basically the cost of an array. So what they are asking is among all the compatible arrays, so you are given a string s, right? So there can be many compatible arrays with this, right? So E1 can be compatible, E2 can be compatible, E3 can be compatible. So there can be many compatible arrays with this string. You just find me the cost, just find me the minimum cost among all the compatible arrays. That is, which one of these arrays. So basically, guys, if you have a string s, there can be many arrays compatible with it, A1, A2, A3. You just find me the array with minimum cost. They're not actually asking you to generate that array, but among all the compatible arrays with this string, what is the minimum cost? That's what they are asking. Okay, and the cost is basically distinct elements. So basically, what they are asking us, given this string, can you create an array with as less distinct elements as possible, right? Because the more distinct elements you have, the more different elements you have, the cost will be more, right? I guess the question is clear. Let's just see some examples from the Codeforces itself. So what I'll do is, these are the examples, right? So what I'll do is I'll try to create the array only. Okay, they have not asked us to create the array, the compatible array, but I'll just try to create the arrays. Okay, so let's try to create arrays with as less different elements as possible. Okay, so the first string is this. Its length is 4. So of course, the array length will be n plus 1. That's fine, right? So let me just try to create the array. Okay, so first is less than equals to. So maybe I can just put 1 less than equals to 2. So 1 less than equals to 2 will give this. Then again there is less than equals to. Then I'll put 3 here because 2 is less than equals to 3. Fine. So I'm just trying to create the array, okay, with as less elements as possible. And then there is greater than equals to. Then there is greater than equals to. Okay. So if there is greater than equals to, okay, if there is greater than equals to, what I'll do is, can I use this 2 again? Like I'm trying to use as less elements as possible, right? So can I use this 2 again? Yeah, I can use this 2 again, right? So this is done. Then again there is greater than equals to, greater than. So can I use this one again? I guess yes, right? So fine. So this is the array. Okay, this is the array. Now let's move on to the next example. Don't worry, you'll get it. This is a very simple question. So again, we have greater than equals to. So greater than equals to, right? So maybe if you want, so something is greater than equals to. So maybe I can use something like this. I'm just taking a bigger value here. Let's say 5 is greater than 4, right? So 5 is greater than 4. Then 4 is greater than 3. Fine. Okay. Then less than. I can use some other element. I can use 2. Okay, less than, right? So maybe I can use something like 10 here because 3 is less than 10. But I can reuse these guys, right? So maybe I can just use 4 again. 3 is less than 4. Fine. 3 is less than 4. Then again less than. I can of course use an element like 10 here or 20 here, but I can still use this 5, right? So 4 less than 5. Okay, fine. So what is the cost here, by the way? The cost here is 3. You only have 3 distinct elements. What is the cost here, guys? The cost is 3. Okay, fine. Let's see these 2 more examples. Everything will start clicking. Okay, so everything you have less than. Fine. So maybe how many less thans are there? Greater than, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Maybe I'll start with 10. Okay, for a very big value. 10. So first I'll just keep on taking. So first guy. So let's say 10 is greater than 9. Then 9 is greater than 8. Then 8 is greater than 7. And 7 is greater than 6. And 6 is greater than 5. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So 6. Okay. So you see one thing here that if you have only one sign, so basically if you have all greater thans or all less thans or less than, the number of the number of distinct characters, number of different integers that you'll need is basically, if this length is L, you'll need L plus 1. And that's not very difficult thing to see, right? If you have, let's say, only 3 greater thans, then of course you will need 4 unique integers, right? Here, for example, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, right? So 4, 3, 2, 1, okay, sorry, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, so you'll need these 4 integers. So basically, if you have a run of same signs, either less than or greater than, so either less than or greater than, if you have a run of same signs, then of course you will need, basically, if its length is L, you'll need L plus 1 integers to satisfy that. So that's a very easy thing to observe, right? Because you'll need to choose every different element. You have to choose n plus 1 different elements. So here you can say there was a run of n same signs. So of course you'll need n plus 1. Okay, so that's a good observation. Okay, keep that in mind. Let's see the last one. I guess it will clear all the air now. So fine. So here you have first less than. So maybe I can take a value like, again, 7, right? So it's big string. So maybe I'll just take again 10. No issues. 10, and then 10 is less than what? Yeah, maybe 10 is less than 11. Fine. So 10 is less than 11. Then I want greater than. So can I reuse this 10 again? 11 is greater than 10, right? Fine, no issues. I don't want to use another element. I can of course use an element like 9 here. 11 is greater than 9, but I want to reuse the element, right? Because what I'm trying to do here is, I'm trying to use as less different elements as possible, because that's what our agenda, right? Because we want to minimize the cost. Fine. So again, we have less than. I can use 11 again, right? If I have less than, I can use 11 again. Then this guy, greater than, I can use 10 again. Less than 11, greater than 10, less than, okay, less than, and then fine, again 11. Okay, what just happened here? What is the cost of this array? Just 2, right? Just 2. So by looking at all the examples, can you observe one thing? Like I was able to observe it. Maybe you can take a minute or two. Can you observe one thing? See, one hint I'll give you. This you can definitely see. If you have a run of same signs, the number of distinct elements you need to satisfy this string is 4. Basically, n plus 1. This is what you need, right? So this observation, that if you have a run of same signs, the number of different elements that you'll need to satisfy this string will be n plus 1. Are you seeing some pattern here? See, I'll tell you. I'll break it for you. See, here you want a string. You basically, here the cost. Here the cost, minimum cost that you can get is 3, right? How did you get it? You can see the longest run of same signs was of size 2, right? The longest run of same signs, right? So longest run when you had same signs was just 2. That's why you needed 3 elements, right? Here if you see, the longest run of same signs was again 2. That's why you only needed 3 elements. Here the longest run of same signs was 5. That's why you needed 6 elements. Here the longest run of same signs was just 1. That's why you needed just 2 elements. Okay. And it's not very difficult thing to observe. How did it came? See, if you are asking me why this is always true, I just showed you. You can create, right? This is the strategy. We just created the arrays, right? So if you have a longest run of same signs to be of length L, if you have a longest run of same signs to be length L, then you can always get a compatible array with cost L plus 1, right? Basically L plus 1 different elements. And why is that? I showed you how you can generate the array, right? But if you want to see a little bit more, so if you have a longest run of, let's say, 3 greater than equals to, of course, to satisfy this, you'll need 4 different elements. So you need 4 different elements. You can have to pick like 4, 3, 2, 1, something like this. Okay, this is what you need to do. Right, so what is the question then? The question is done and dusted here. Find the longest run. Find the longest run of same signs. And let me say the length of the longest run is L. Then you just have to see out basically in the end L plus 1, right? And why are you sure that this is the minimum cost? This is the minimum cost because if you have the longest run of same signs, you will definitely need to pick basically L plus 1 different elements. Fine. And if you have longest run of size L, I showed you a strategy to generate the array. I showed you a strategy to create the array, right? So we have a strategy to create the. First of all, we found out that if you have a longest run of L elements, you will need L plus 1 different elements. And then if you have L plus 1 different elements, we have a strategy to create the arrays. Fine. So the question and proof, I guess everything is complete here. And yeah, so the code will be very similar. You just have to find out the longest run of same signs. So let's just quickly code it up. Okay, guys, let's quickly code up the solution. So I've already taken the input. Now what we need to find is, we need to find the maximum run of same signs. If you remember in the previous question, we have to find the maximum run which satisfied some inequality. So this is a very common pattern when you want to find out a maximum contiguous segment which follows some property. So there's a very common code to do this. Basically, you want to find out the longest segment which satisfies some property. Here it's simple. You have to find the longest segment in which same signs are there. So that's a very standard way of doing it. So how do you do it? Let's just quickly code it up. So first things first, you'll need to start off with a maxi. So basically, I'm just assuming that right now the maximum size is 1. Anyway, the longest run with same sign will be 1, and I'll keep a local counter, count equals to 1. Then I'll go through all the strings starting from 1. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is if s of I equals to s of I minus 1. So what I'm doing is I'm going to keep on incrementing the count. So until the same signs are there, basically until the same signs are there, I'm going to keep on incrementing this counter. Otherwise, I'm going to reset the counter. Right. So basically, in this case here, if a different sign is found, I'm going to reset the counter. But after every increment of counter, what I'll do is I'll update maxi, max of maxi and count. So initially maxi is basically this is my final answer, the final answer. So initially, of course, the maximum size of the maximum run with same sign is 1, and this is my local count. Basically, right now, what is the maximum run of same signs going on, right? So for example, if I show you a dry run here, it will be very simple. First, at this point, maxi and count both are 1. I go here, count becomes 2. I update maxi, we get 2. Then at this point, the si is not equal to si minus 1, so count again becomes 1, count again becomes 1. So anyway, maxi won't be updated, and here again count becomes 2, maxi won't be updated. Fine. So this is the same code, I guess. This is the same code that you used in the previous for calculating the balance round. It's just we had a different condition here, right? So fine. So maxi will store the maximum, basically will be the length of maximum contiguous segment with same signs. So I can just in the end print maxi plus 1. We can verify it for ourselves, the answers. Okay. Just quickly run it. So I've just taken the examples from the Codeforces itself. So 3362, is it? Yeah, of course. See, maximum run of same sign is 2, so answer should be 3. Maximum run of same size is 2, so answer should be 3. Maximum run of same size is 5, so answer should be 6. Right? So the code is, I guess, simple. We start off with we initially start off with size 1, and then depending on if signs are equal, increment the counter, and every update we are going to update the max. Okay, so fine. So that's that. Let me just quickly submit it and see if it works. It works. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.